Next, we speak with Teresa Biacco from Conversion Max. If you want to see the full-length episode, make sure you go check it out at marketingoptimization.tv. Hi, and welcome to Marketing Optimization with Alex Designs. I am your host, Alex Harris, and today we have Teresa Biacco from Conversion Max. How you doing today, Teresa?
Good. Thanks, Alex.
Awesome. Teresa is the CMO at Conversion Max. They do pay-per-click optimization and conversion rate optimization. To get started, I'd like to ask, what is your definition of optimization and why is it beneficial?
It's a great question, Alex. And I think that a lot of people get confused with the word optimization. And the biggest question to ask from that is, what are you optimizing for? People think optimization means I'm optimizing for the search engines, right? And they care about getting the rankings up and making sure that they have the top organic listing. But really, what you want to optimize for is your revenue, your profits. That's the more important optimization problem. And the way to do that really is to make sure not that you're just driving a whole lot of traffic to your website, but that the traffic that you drive there is buying from you, ultimately becoming customers. So I think the more important optimization problem is not Google's opinion or Bing or whichever search engine, what their opinion is of you, but more what are your customers doing and are they buying from you?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Anytime I tell people I do conversion optimization, they ask me if I do SEO. It's very, very common. And that's really why I created the show, is that the marketing optimization is essentially if you're not optimizing your website, you're not growing. You need to measure in order to figure out where you've been and where you can go.
Absolutely. And I think that people are just starting to wake up to that idea. That I get the same thing. People always think I do SEO because that's the more common term. And now CRO, conversion rate optimization, is getting more of a name. And people are starting to realize that, hey, it doesn't matter how much traffic I get to my website if nobody ever buys anything. So now I need to actually get the right people to my site and get them to buy.
Awesome. So how did you guys get started in the optimization space?
Well, my partner, Richard Farr, started first just with his own website years ago, and it was with SEO, to be honest. My undergrad degree is in English, so he had me writing some of the content, and he was doing pretty well, so people started asking him for help, and we thought, well, yeah, we can turn this into a little SEO business. And we had one particular client who sold ski vacations in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. And it's a high-end service, right? It's a vacation. It's something that people want to spend money on. And we were able to get good traffic, and we looked in analytics and could demonstrate to him that year over year he was getting more traffic, and he was getting better traffic as well. He wasn't getting people looking for discounted ski vacation lodging and things to that effect, right? So he was getting better quality and more quantity over the years. However, his revenues kept dropping. And it was a big mystery until finally my partner, Richard, went through the website, tried to actually book a ski vacation, and he got kicked out of the shopping cart. So it was this huge revelation to us that, hey, it doesn't matter how many people you drive to the website. If they're getting kicked out of your shopping cart, maybe you need to fix that first. So that totally changed our philosophy and our scope of work, and we started getting into the right traffic with pay-per-click and converting it with CRO.
Yeah, you're not really sure what's going on in your own products until you test them yourself.
Right. We should have done that long ago. We couldn't believe that we let it go that long before actually trying that.
But that's pretty common. Majority of people, they put up a site, they have their lead form, they have their conversion funnel, however they're selling, and then they just take it for granted and they just let it go, and they don't even know that there may be errors on their site that have been there for months.
Yeah, it's true. Too many people do that when they're just starting out and just kind of learning. But I think that there's an evolution in sophistication as people come to some kind of realization that they say, hey, I need to be looking in analytics. I need to be measuring things. I need to be user testing. And when that comes, I think it's a big revelation that has to happen for companies to be able to grow and improve.
Absolutely. You gave us a great introduction into conversion rate optimization. So do you guys have a framework that you follow for your clients to help them maximize their return on investments?
Yeah, we've actually developed our own 7-step process, and it begins really with understanding your audience. You have to know exactly who you're targeting. You can't be everything to everybody, and you shouldn't try to be. You should repel the people who are not appropriate and then convince the right people to take action. So once you know who you're speaking to, then you have to try and understand what their motivation is. So what are they trying to do on your site? That's step 2. Step 3 is, what do we want them to do on our site? And realize that those two aren't always the same. What they want to do might not be the same thing that we want them to do. So how do we reconcile if those two are different? Mm-hmm. So those are the first 3 steps. And when you have those, then you have to make sure everybody on your team, the SEO, the pay-per-click, the social media person, the CEO, everybody understands those first 3 steps. And you can't proceed until those are defined and written out and put on the walls. And so many companies actually miss those first 3 steps. They just want to jump right into the site and analytics and whatnot. So those are the first 3. So then once you have that, step number 4 is determining what's preventing people from taking those actions, right? So you know what your goals are, and then you have to actively look for problems. You have to admit, hey, my website's not perfect. My baby's ugly, right? Be able to admit that there are problems and find them. And so how you find them, first of all, is with Google Analytics. That tells you where the problems lie, but it won't tell you why problems are on those pages. It'll show you which pages people are dropping out of your funnel, for example, but you won't know why those particular pages are problematic. So then you use user testing and gather a lot of feedback of what are people doing on your site, things like Crazy Egg. You can do Attention Wizard, you do user testing, etc., to drill down into the why. So that's step number 4. And then number 5, you form your hypothesis. You don't just go off when you gather all these problems and make changes on your site, right? Because you could be fixing one problem and creating 3 more, maybe. So what you do instead when you gather all those problems is you say, okay, what do I think will fix these problems? And that's your hypothesis. Step number 6 then is to actually run your test and see whether your hypothesis was valid or not. And then at that point, hopefully you have a winning test because you followed the 6 steps, but you're not done. Step number 7 is to go back up to step number 4, which is identifying all your problems and digging in, and you find out what other problems are out there. Why else are people not converting the way that you need them to? So it's an ongoing process where you're continually looking for problems, running tests, fixing them, and then going back and looking for more problems.